He said it was intentional. Duke's 7-foot big man gets tangled up with fans after the game and ends up with a knee injury. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Dr. Stefan Wilson, and the objective of this channel is to help you better understand the injury aspect of sports. The end result of this spectacle is that some are calling for the ban of fans rushing the court or the field after a big win. This typically happens in high school or college sports, and on Saturday night basketball when Wake Forest upset their in-state rival Duke, the Wake Forest fans stormed the court in celebration. We'll take a look at the replay here, and it starts off with about 1.8 seconds left in the second half of the game. Wake Forest is up by 4. When Duke inbounds the ball, it is intercepted by a Wake Forest defender, and that essentially kills the clock, which ends up in Wake upsetting Duke, who is nationally ranked. From here, the celebration begins. Filipowski is near the bottom of the W on the court here, and he is headed back and walking towards his own bench. He is outlined by the red circle here, and he only manages a couple of steps before a swarm of fans pretty much engulf the court and take over everything. They come from both ends of the court, and within seconds, the whole area seems to be very chaotic. Further on here, we can see his Duke teammates coming to his aid as he is hobbling and he needs some help to make his way off of the floor. From this angle, it seems like he does have some sort of injury to his right leg. Here, he is being helped down the tunnel. In this situation, they do need to get him back to the locker room to be evaluated and also to escape the chaos. They do it fairly quickly. They don't even give him a beat here. And at the end, some Wake Forest fans are even filming the action on their phones. There is another angle here that I came across, and it is from the overhead. We can get a really good view of what's actually happening to Filipowski's leg. So on this view, Filipowski is in the lower left corner here wearing his blue Duke uniform. The fan in question is coming in front of him, moving from Filipowski's left to his right. Filipowski takes a stride with his right leg, and this is where the contact begins. Now, yes, he does have his arms up where he's either trying to protect himself or push the fan off of him here, and I'm not really sure which one it is, but it's the contact that the running fan makes with the inside of Filipowski's extended leg. So, in this position, we know that Filipowski is walking forward, which means his left foot is planted and his right foot is coming through in the swing phase of his gait. His right hip will be in flexion, which brings his thigh and leg forward, and his right knee will be somewhat straight or extended. Here, the contact is made to the inside of his right foot. What this will do is send a force up Filipowski's leg, which will likely affect his knee the most. This contact will force his knee to bend in a manner that it does not want to, as his lower leg and calf have been moved laterally in comparison to his right thigh. That, of course, will stress his knee. It would be fairly similar to taking a blow or a force directly to the outside of your knee. We call this a valgus force, which will end up stressing the connective tissue on the inside of his knee, most likely his medial cruciate ligament. When the clip continues on here, we can see Filipowski then reverse pivots to his right on what looks like both feet, which of course does involve his right foot as well. This will place a twisting motion again through his knee, which can irritate those stabilizing ligaments in addition to this time his meniscus. When we look at the anatomy screen here, we can unpack what may have happened to his right leg. Here's an image of your right leg. To orient ourselves, we'll look at the big, long, vertical bone on the top. That's called your thigh bone or your femur. Below it is your long shin bone called your tibia, and beside it is your helper, the fibula. Of course, below that we see the bones of your right foot and then the joint space between your femur and tibia. This is then the joint space of your knee. So when Filipowski was walking across the court at the end of the game and the Wake Forest fan made contact with the inside of his right foot, that would have created a force into Filipowski's foot in this direction here. And when this occurs, it will affect the next joint up the kinetic chain, which will be his knee joint. A force from the inside of his foot will place that valgus stress onto his knee, which will then stress the tissues on the inside of his knee. Right here being his MCL, or his medial collateral ligament, and then his medial meniscus as well. The reverse pivot that he does can also affect this area. With all the commotion, there may have been some contact directly onto his knee as well, likely resulting in a contusion or a bruise. When we combine all of that together, the end result is Filipowski having an injury. Now, the big question that people are talking about is whether or not to ban fans from running onto the playing area after a game, or is it even possible to control that many fans all at once? Personally, I'm not sure what the correct answer is, but please leave your opinions and your comments in the comment section below. I will say that I've often wondered how an injury like this has not even occurred yet, and I am surprised that an incident like this did take this long to occur and to instigate this discussion. Please let me know what you think below. Take care, have a good night.